all right. Thank you and welcome to F.Y.I. Live, a very special series with our special guest, Judy Copenbarger. Today, I am very excited on the launch of this new series called Money Truth Moments with Judy Copenbarger, and I want to introduce Judy. She's going to introduce herself, tell you a little bit about herself and how we got started with this great idea of this series.
Great. Well, it's such a pleasure to be with you, Carlos, and your audience. I'm so excited to be launching Money, Truth, and Life, the book that is behind the online money learning program. So tonight, I'm hoping to be able to inspire some of your audience, some ideas that actually work. My background is in financial planning. I'm also an attorney. I have a background in taxation planning from law school. And I've spent decades helping families achieve not only financial freedom, but harmony that comes from having your finances in order. There's this sense of peace that people discover, this sense of freedom that people attain when they're able to not have to worry about money and if the ends meet and whether they have everything buttoned up at home for themselves and for their families. So I appreciate the opportunity, and it's so nice to see you.
Well, thank you. And you know what? I'm not going to waste any time. I want to jump right into this because this is, I want to make sure that folks capture every single moment that we have with you here. So let me start asking you, Judy, just right out of the cuff, is you have the reputation and a heart for bringing families into harmony around money. So with the COVID-19 is actually tearing people apart. So how do you address something like this, especially now, in the current times?
Yeah. We've had tough times before. This is a really tough one. And I think it's tough on every area of life. It's tough on finances for a lot of people. It's tough on emotions. It's tough on relationships. It's tough on just the patterns in life, achieving goals, people that like to travel, people that like to boat or to golf. Everything's kind of been turned on its head. But most of the rumblings that I hear, most of the discontentment that I understand from people is about their money. It's about, and maybe it's my world, but I hear them talking about the recession, the depression, the market's terrible, it's awful, the sky is falling. And I've seen some headlines that kind of resemble that. But the truth is, if you look at just the facts, forget the commentary, but just the facts, last year and the year before, our base economy, if we measure it by the equity markets, for example, Dow Jones, last year and the year before, we set record after record after record. And if you look at just the numbers, last year, the low was in the 18,000s. The high at its very peak was at 29,000. Most of the year, it was right in the 20,000s-ish. And I looked it up just a few minutes ago to see how the market closed today. And it's been very consistent. It changes every day, but it's been very consistent. Mm-hmm. And it closed, it's right now at 25,000. And it's been there. So 23, 24, 25,000 is about where we were all of last year when we were setting all these records. So when people are concerned about the market being low or going down 40%, or should I sell everything, cash out, and move to Bali or some island somewhere? No, we're actually very consistent. There is no depression. There's no indication that we should have one. It's actually the opposite. As the government is starting to allow safe openings of certain areas, that's going to be more economy. It might not look like it did before. We're going to find businesses that are innovative, that are doing very well. We have industries that weren't even there before that are doing great. And we have these entrepreneurs, which is really the hub of our country's heart. People that just have creative ideas and small businesses doing old things in new ways. And they're turning those into enterprises making money. And it's awesome. So we expect much more optimism in the markets. And I think the numbers are going to reflect that, no doubt. They always have. But the sky is not falling. The market's not bad. Now, to address what you asked about family harmony, this period of COVID-19, everybody stay at home and, doing life differently here for this last couple of months that we've done, has been the most amazing opportunity for families. No, it's a choice. You can see it as devastation, awful, fear, and gloom, or you can see it as opportunity. Families where moms and dads don't get to spend all their time with their kids, now they are, and it's different. We don't have systems and processes for that, to have everybody at home, but it's working out. And what an opportunity to just spend time and allow our children to watch us in a time that's not perfect and normal. You know, how we do is what they're going to observe, not how we say, right? Watch me,
Mhm.
don't listen to me. So
Right.
great opportunity for people with minor children, with young children, to observe their parents and have that unity. It's a great time for older folks that should not have been out. A lot of them, you know, were and still are kind of sequestering and staying at home, to just reflect on the things that are most important to them and set goals for the future and dream about, you know, the places they haven't been yet that they'd like to travel to when we can. So I just see a lot of opportunity in this change, not always just doom and gloom. That's just my opinion. Great opportunity for family and marital harmony if we take that opportunity and use it.
That's really great, and I'm glad you're actually addressing this because it's in a lot of folks' mind. I mean, we've experienced it too, and the whole doom and gloom and the sky is falling.
Yeah.
It just you keep hearing that over and over again. For me personally, I remember back in when 2008, right? Everything plummeted down to about the 5,000s or something, and I think people forget that too. It's like at what point we were that low, you
Yeah.
know? So I'm glad you cleared that up a little bit too.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you also, you serve as a money guide and a legacy planner to families. I'd like to know, and I'm sure a lot of folks want to know, what's a money guide and why do families today need a legacy plan?
Oh, well, a money guide can be an object or it can be a person. So for decades, I have been a money guide for people. And not just, you know, what investments should they have or what insurance policy should they have, what trust or will should they have, what kind of cash flow should they keep, what kind of loan should they have, what kind of entity for their business. So a money guide can be a person to guide that. And I've done that for a long time. But now we actually have a physical money guide. We have Money Through the Life, a book that is coordinated with an online program that helps you go through all the pillars of finance and know exactly what you need to know so you can implement well. And so the money guide is really a step-by-step plan of action, not what is my neighbor doing, what is my brother-in-law doing, what did my parents teach me to do, what should I be doing at my house, what's right for me and my family right now in this period of time. Even when you're in your 20s, the action that you take and the implementation that you attain is not going to be the same as when you're in your 40s or 60s. So this roadmap needs to evolve. It needs to change as you go through the journey. So I would answer the question that way when it comes to what a money guide is. And your question was about a legacy planner?
Yeah, and why do families today need a legacy planner?
Yeah. Well, legacy is basically a money guide for after you're not here anymore. So in the event of a death or incapacity, how do you want things to be handled? How do you want to be handled? You know, if you're living, but you're unable to say so, medical decisions and where you want to live and the end of life dignity issues. And then what do you want done with your stuff? You know, where's all this wealth that you've accumulated going to go? What's going to happen to your yachts and your horses and your houses and all of your IRA money and your life insurance proceeds when you pass away? And do we want Uncle Sam to reach in there and take his cut? Or do we want to maybe give him a little less and more to causes that we care about or our family? So a legacy planner helps with that kind of thing. And again, that's my background in my world. That's what a lot of our work helps people understand. What are their options and which options would be right for their family when they're thinking about their legacy?
That's awesome. It's I'm gonna do a squirrel moment here for a second, but when you're talking about what we leave our loved ones behind, right? I just recently saw, we still look at old episodes of Murder, She Wrote. I don't know if you remember that show or not.
I do.
But there was there was a current episode where the guy that actually owned this estate left everything to his dog, right? So it just cracks me up how things like that do happen. As funny as I see on film, but you talking about that kind of brought that up for me. So
yeah, he's probably one of those guys that liked his dog better than his relatives, or maybe the other way around. Maybe the dog was better to him than his people. So
that's it.
Yeah, but I've seen that happen.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sure you have. Yeah, and I'm sure we can spend some quality time talking about some of the things that you've seen and experienced too over the years, for sure.
Interesting. Yeah.
So let me also ask you. So you and Money, Truth, and Life represent the integrity, life, peace of financial freedom. What does that mean, financial freedom?
Well, how long have you got? Yeah. You know, I think the best way to answer that question is with a visual. I speak a lot with visuals and stories and things like that. I think if we were to consider a wheel of a bicycle wheel, it's round. It has the rubber around the edge, and then it has the spokes, and then they meet in the middle where the hub is. And if you imagine that wheel having integrity, not integrity like it tells the truth, but integrity like it's solid. You know, these walls have integrity. The ceiling has integrity. We know it's not going to collapse on us because it is what it is. That's what I mean by integrity. So if you have a wheel that has spokes that have integrity, that wheel is going to carry you on the journey. It's going to get to the other end of where it needs to go. So if you imagine your life as the wheel, and the spokes are each area of your life, they've all got to work together, right? So let's suppose that you have your home life, your relationships, your work life, your money, your health and fitness and wellness, your contribution to your community, your contribution to the world, all those areas of life that make you you and that make you uniquely you, all of those areas, when they have full integrity like the wheel, the journey is awesome. But when one of those wheel spokes begins to bend or breaks, it impacts the next one, and then the next one, and the next one. And at best, the journey becomes cumbersome. At worst, it's impossible. So you end up with a life that's not working because one area or another is out of whack. And that's a sad story. And we know people that have lives with broken spokes. But the inverse is also true. Here's where the hope comes in. You can straighten one spoke over here, and then integrity shows up on the other side. If you straighten it here, it shows up over here. So maybe you pick up the phone and you call that long lost friend or that relative that you should have apologized 2 years ago, and you make it right. All of a sudden, you get a great idea in business that makes you money. Or let's say you clean out your garage, right? And a lot of people, I like to say, if they looked in your trunk or your garage, would they hire you, right? What does it really look like?
Right.
So if you clean out your garage or just put order into your home space, what might show up for you is a new career job. You know, you might meet the right person or have some divine download of a great idea. It's amazing how you fix something in one area of life and it just shows up in another area. And the two easiest areas of life to fix are faith and finance. And I think the reason, and this is just in my experience in my life and with lots of people that I've been working with over the years, those are the two easiest to repair and strengthen because they don't require other people. You know, in a relationship, there's two sides. So you can forgive and you can apologize and do all that, but there's really two people in a relationship: parent, child, spouse, best friend, any kind of a partnership. So, and if it's finance, it's just you. You do or you don't do. If it's faith, you choose or you don't choose. You believe or you don't believe. So whatever your spirituality is, it doesn't matter. But those are the two easiest spokes to fix. So your question was, when I talk about integrity, that's the context that I'd like you to think of. That we have this wheel, we have spokes that we get to every day choose what we're going to straighten or what we're going to allow to bend and break. And that's the power of everyday living when you're intentional, what you're going to put into it. So how did I do answering your question?
No, I think that was great. I think that there's definitely more areas of exploration that I know we're going to do as the series continues. So yeah. We started this Money Truth Moments because there's a wealth of information that I know you want to get out there and share with the world. And this is just one of the many more episodes that are to come, folks. So I'm very happy that we got to launch our first segment of our series, Money, Truth, and Moments. If you're not following Judy, please do so. Follow the hashtag Judy Copenbarger on social media. And also below, you can see the ticker with please text her at 55444 and with the word truth to receive a free gift from Judy as well, too. So I know we're wrapping this up for our first session for today, but I'd like to give you the opportunity to leave us with one, parting words for sure.
Yeah, I think just a couple of things. One is, if you need permission to do better, if you're waiting for somebody to tell you that you can or believe in you or give you the foundation where you believe that you can, let this be the place. Let this be the time where you can actually take all that chaos and all that confusion around finance, around money and choices and what everybody's telling me to do or trying to get me to do. You take all that confusion and chaos and turn it into clarity and turn it into confidence. That's when you get that freedom around money. And when you know your own money truths, you'll do better. You know better, you do better in any area of life. But when you grab these money truths and apply them to your life in a very simple step-by-step plan of action, it's amazing what can show up for you. The straightening of that spoke that can happen for you. And then who knows, the sky's the limit for what else can come in. But that's where you could start. And I just want to empower you. If you've never thought about money this way before, or thought about the impact on your family and your marital relationship, if you're married, when you get money right, all the stress that can go away, this might be the right time. So if it is, you're in the right place. We're going to give you the tools and equip you and empower you with what you need to move forward with your own money truths.
Awesome. I really appreciate those final words on there, folks. You've heard Judy Copenbarger. Today's the launch of Money Truth Moments. Please follow her, hashtag Judy Copenbarger. You'll see her pop up on different platforms as well, so make sure that you share that out. And on that note, this has been a great opportunity, a great segment, and we will see you guys next time. Stay safe, stay with money, truth, and we appreciate you. Thank you.
Awesome. Blessings, everyone.